What happens when home renovation stars face repeated lawsuits, yet still receive new seasons, new contracts, and ongoing admiration from fans? That's the story of Dave and Jenny Mars, the couple behind HGTV's Fixer to Fabulous. Their journey shows the tension between television success and real-world construction disputes. Dave and Jenny Mars have become one of HGTV's most recognizable couples. Their series focuses on restoring and building homes in Northwest Arkansas, where they live and run their businesses. The show has earned them fame, financial rewards, and even an Emmy nomination for their design work. But alongside the polished television image, they've also faced multiple legal and regulatory battles. Despite those setbacks, HGTV has continued to renew its shows, and its companies remain active. The most recent and publicized lawsuit involves Matthew and Sarah McGrath, who purchased a newly constructed home from Mars Construction in May 2022 for approximately $559,000. According to court filings, the McGraths worked directly with Dave Mars, making an initial payment of $155,000. At closing, they claimed, the house was riddled with unfinished repairs and uncompleted upgrades that had been promised as part of the sale. The McGraths alleged that none of the repair items were completed within 30 days of closing. As agreed, they also claimed replacement windows, which were supposed to be installed within 90 days, never arrived. When Mars companies attempted repairs, the McGraths said those efforts actually caused additional damage. An independent structural investigation by an Arkansas contractor uncovered serious problems: improper roof framing, main floor framing defects, wall framing and wind bracing issues, unstable deck foundations, and poor drainage. Their attorneys estimated the cost to fix driveways and walkways at nearly $39,000, and landscaping, grading, and a French drain system at almost $48,000 more. The lawsuit, filed in February 2023, quickly escalated. Mediation sessions failed, and court hearings were scheduled. By mid-2023, the McGraths complained they had struggled to obtain basic documents and responses from Mars' legal team. Judges ordered Mars Construction to produce records by June 2023, but disputes dragged on. In depositions, Dave Mars defended his company's work, claiming some of the requested fixes could actually cause more problems if performed as written. His attorneys argued that the plaintiffs mischaracterized communications and inspections, noting that formal inspections had taken place in May 2023 with both lawyers present, followed by a settlement offer. Nevertheless, a jury trial was scheduled for September 2024 in Benton County. Pre-trial hearings began on September 5th, with a 5-day jury trial set for September 23rd. It would have been the most public airing of allegations against the Mars. But just days before trial, the parties settled. In January 2025, the lawsuit was dismissed with prejudice, meaning the McGraths cannot bring the same claims again. The exact terms of the settlement remain confidential. This wasn't the only controversy surrounding the couple. Back in 2021, Dana and Tyler Craddock filed a $75,000 lawsuit against the Mars companies. They alleged that work performed during a renovation connected to Fixer to Fabulous was done without a valid Arkansas contractor's license and without required county permits. That case was settled in March 2022 after negotiations. Then, in January 2024, the Environmental Protection Agency fined Mars Construction $35,000 for violating the federal renovation, repair, and painting rule. The EPA alleged that during 2 2018 renovations featured in the first season of Fixer to Fabulous, Mars failed to recertify before beginning work, did not assign a certified renovator, neglected to maintain compliance records, and did not follow required work practice standards when dealing with lead paint. As part of the settlement, Mars Construction agreed not only to pay the fine, but also to educate HGTV viewers in future episodes about the dangers of lead paint and the importance of following safety rules. Taken together, the McGrath case, the Craddock lawsuit, and the EPA fine paint a picture of a construction company under scrutiny. Normally, repeated lawsuits and fines could spell disaster for contractors and television hosts alike. Yet, despite these setbacks, the Mars have continued to receive new work and ongoing seasons of Fixer to Fabulous. Why is that? Part of the answer lies in the loyalty of their audience. Viewers have connected with Dave and Jenny's personalities, their family-oriented lifestyle, and their design aesthetic. For many fans, the stories of transformation and renewal on screen outweigh the legal disputes behind the scenes. HGTV benefits from that loyalty, choosing to keep them on air because the show delivers strong ratings. For networks, renewal decisions are ultimately math: audience retention, ad demand, and production costs. If a show reliably delivers viewers, executives tolerate manageable controversy, especially when disputes are civil and settled. The Mars brand still converts ratings, sponsors, and merchandise, so the incentive to keep cameras rolling outweighs reputational risk for now. Another reason is how the Mars handled the disputes. By settling lawsuits before trials, they avoided lengthy public judgments that could have damaged their reputation further. Settlements allow both parties to move forward without admissions of guilt or liability becoming part of the permanent record. With the EPA, they took corrective action, paying the fine and agreeing to provide educational content about lead paint safety. Those steps signaled cooperation rather than defiance, which helped preserve credibility. It also matters that the controversies are civil, not criminal. Civil lawsuits, even expensive ones, don't carry the same public stigma as criminal charges. They often fade from headlines after settlements are reached. As a result, many fans and sponsors are willing to overlook them. On the business side, the Mars are diversified. Beyond HGTV, their companies build dozens of homes annually in Northwest Arkansas. They have rental properties through Jupiter Rentals and ongoing design projects. This financial base gives them resilience, even when legal costs rise. Still, critics argue that repeated lawsuits and regulatory fines raise concerns. Homeowners like the McGraths say they suffered financially and emotionally when promised work was delayed or botched. Code violations and lead paint safety lapses are serious matters that affect health and safety. From this perspective, HGTV's continued promotion of the Mars may look like the network prioritizing ratings over accountability. Balanced against that is the argument that lawsuits are not unusual in construction. Building and renovating homes carries risk, and disputes are common. The question is whether the Mars cases reflect isolated incidents or patterns. Their supporters point out that they have built or renovated hundreds of homes, with only a small fraction ending in lawsuits. The contrast is striking. On one hand, multiple lawsuits and fines. On the other, continued seasons, fan admiration, and professional acclaim. In fact, in 2024, amid the lawsuits, Dave and Jenny Mars received an Emmy nomination for their design contributions on Fixer to Fabulous. That recognition highlights how strongly they are still embraced within the industry. What this reveals is the dual nature of modern renovation television. On screen, viewers see warm narratives, beautiful transformations, and happy endings. Off-screen, the messy realities of construction, contracts, permits, code compliance, lawsuits continue. For Dave and Jenny Mars, both realities exist side by side. As of 2025, they are still on HGTV, still running Mars construction, still renovating homes in Northwest Arkansas. Despite settlements, fines, and legal scrutiny, their careers remain intact. The cameras keep rolling and fans keep tuning in. What do you think? Should HGTV continue promoting stars who face repeated lawsuits? Or should accountability matter more than ratings? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future uploads.